Let's go, little nerds. Let's go.
Wipe you off of my boot, dude. Like, this is disgusting. I hate this smarmy behavior. This is so gross and grating. What is wrong with you? Stop. I am very tired. But
very tired.
That being the case, I am still committed to covering this last thing.
Making fun of card posting for living in a shack while you live in pure squalor. The Clorox wipe is still out. You've got a bunch of shit. Like, if you're gonna have, like, a background, make it clean. Make it clean. Do you guys think I would stream with, like, a bunch of shit on the couch? No. Pick it up. Pick it up. It's not very bisexual lighting aesthetic. It looks like shit. It looks like shit.
Because I just got done with 3 politics segments that really didn't spark my interest that much. Even the one with Matt Walsh really was not that interesting to me. And I got one more that is a little bit more in my ball field. My ballpark, okay?
Yeah, I always forget. Alec Gunter he's the king of trans people. I always forget about that. My bad. This is his area of expertise as a nurse. He is the trans whispering nurse. Maybe he's huffing the Windex.
Little bit more, okay? I got a little bit more in me. So we're going to watch this thing from the offensive T-slur. Who, if you don't know who he is, he's basically just a grifter a la Blair White and all them, you know. He's a trans person who says that other people are not allowed to have the same rights that he has. So this video is called He Rejected Me for Being Trans, Reacting to Crazy QIA Plus Meltdown. And for those who don't know, QIA Plus, whenever they like separate that from LGBT, well, usually they say T, like LGB without the T. But I guess since this person's trans, he can't do that, right? And wink, wink.
Wealth, fame, power.
Well, let's see what this meltdown's all
If your goal
about.
is to get more jacked, shouldn't your goal be to be more confident in social spaces? Could lead to jacking.
That's pretty true. That's a good point. Anyway, let's go.
He's serving
from Argentina. Allegedly
Thank you again. Sorry. Thank you very much, Sakatinuki, for another 5 tier 1 gifted subs. You've been very kind.
I have 2 really important questions. One, when he's editing his segments, why doesn't he edit out this irrelevant shit, for one? I do my best to edit out the irrelevant shit for you guys. I really do. When I segment things, I take my time and I clip out all the stuff that is irrelevant because I care about your time, okay, for starters. Second of all, is he holding the microphone? Does he not have a boom arm? Or is he, like, holding it like this? Interesting choice.
Today, thank you.
By a man because she's trans. She got a little bit upset, so let's watch.
What happened?
This person from Argentina allegedly got rejected by a man because she's trans. She got a little bit upset, so let's watch.
So as per usual, I just want to give my 2 cents on this whole situation before we get started.
Yeah,
nobody's obligated to be in a relationship with you for whatever reason that they so desire. If somebody doesn't want to be with you specifically because you are a trans person, first of all, that person's an asshole. Second of all, they have the right to do that. Okay? Now, if it's for some other tangential reason, such as I'm not into penises or vaginas or whatever, or I want a partner that can help, that I can get pregnant, or that will be able to impregnate me so that we can have our own kids, I don't really care about that very much. You know, it's okay to have genital preferences. It's okay to have voice preferences and facial preferences. Like this is all fine. This is all good and fine. What's not okay is when you specifically say, I would never date a trans person, never date a trans person, I would never date a trans person. Because where is that coming from? It's not coming from.
It's, you know, I'm gonna give my take now. Now it's my turn, okay? My take is like, I don't fucking care what people do for their, for like their dating preferences. I just don't care. I don't care. If you don't want to date a trans person, cool, don't. I don't care. The thing that's annoying is when people like never shut the fuck up about it. It's like, oh, hi, I'm trans, and they're like, I would rather lie in the street and get hit by 27 cars than date a trans person. It's like, okay, well, that's crazy because I didn't ask. But, like, who cares? Who fucking cares? Somebody says, I'll never date a trans person. Okay, cool, fantastic. Trans people probably don't want to date them either. Cool, fantastic, done. We can move on. Boom, who cares?
From a place of, well, these are actually my preferences. It's coming from a place of, I don't like trans people, I think they're icky. It's very important how this is phrased.
I completely agree. Trans people, icky, based.
And how we go about saying that, like, as a result of the fact that you are a woman who is trans, you can't reproduce, or you can't do this or that, or you don't have, like, the thing that I'm attracted to. That's fine, okay? That's fine. And it's usually a result of being trans, which is unfortunate, but that's just life, right? You know, you can have a mole down there, and somebody finds that off-putting, you know? All kinds of things can be wrong. But...
you could have a mole down there. I really don't like Alec Gunter.
What I don't like is when, you know, out of nowhere, these people are just like, oh, I would never date a trans person. Ew. Oh, you think that I would date a trans person? I'm not gay, like you, dumbass, you sicko. Oh, you want to date a trans? Like, no, that's silly. And also, a trans person would never date you. Nobody ever asks, would a trans person date me? You know, we always ask, would you date a trans person? Well, would a trans person date you? Probably not. And also, even if somebody does reject you, like if you're a trans person and somebody rejects you because of whatever that I said, right? Acceptable reasons. It can still crush you. I mean, think about it. Guys literally kill people. Cis guys kill people over getting rejected. Like, let's not pretend that this is a trans problem. Really think about this. Cis guys who get rejected are far more likely to actually bodily harm you than a trans woman is. Like, let's be real. This is cringe, maybe, at worst. But she's not killing anybody or stalking, right? Unlike cis dudes who can't take no.
What are we even talking about? And I think this is ironic. Cis dudes who can't take no for an answer. Okay, Alec Gunter, who sent card posting like 20 emails, tried to get a hold of him on 4chan, which is an anonymous message board, mind you, was commenting on his videos. I think he also messaged him on Instagram. Alec Gunter knows a lot about not being able to take no or no answer or be rejected. He knows a lot about that, guys.
No for an answer. Like, let's be real for a second. So he's just bullying her, really. Probably. Okay, it's not in English, so hold on. He had to go out of his way to find a non-English speaker, by the way.
Oh my god.
Tried to calm down with half an hour, but I just can't. I can't, no.
This is my least favorite kind of content, and Alec Gunter is the king of it, where, like, somebody's watching the video and they're not paying attention, so they have to rewind it, like, 20 times to listen to the same segment. I'm like, please, just pay attention the first time.
No. I had an appointment with a boy at 10 o'clock. It's already 10:15. There's been an answer since 16 p.m. And all this, hold on. For those who don't know, that's military time. It's 4 p.m. And all this comes from being a trans girl. What's my fault for being a trans girl? I did not choose to be a trans girl, okay? Why do I have this fucking problem with every guy that I tell that I'm trans?
It is true that
Yeah, that sucks. That's awful. What's wrong with that video? What's wrong with that video?
you cannot help dealing with gender dysphoria, but what you can control is how you tell men you want to date that you're trans. Of course, if men are not attracted to trans women, it doesn't matter how you tell them, but in order to avoid being rejected, you have to, from the beginning, be open and honest about being trans.
No, you don't. That's bullshit. I don't have to be open and honest about my dick size every time I go out and date a girl.
Do we think that that's the same thing, though, honestly? Like, not necessarily. Like, I think that this is, like, a really sensitive conversation. And, like, this isn't a new conversation. This discourse has been raging since the beginning of fucking time. Okay. Realistically, you don't have to tell anybody that you're trans. You don't have to tell anybody that you're gay. But if you're going to go on a date with somebody, like, you probably want to know, or, like, have them know at least that you're trans. That way, if they're, like, transphobic and they're going to kill you, you can just avoid that altogether, right? It's a little bit safer just to tell people right from the get. It's an individual choice, and it's up to the individual. Some trans people are like, no, I think that it's important for me to tell everybody that I go on a date with. And then you have some trans people who are like, I don't think it's important. Maybe I'll tell them later. Like, it is very, 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 very contingent on, like, the individual. And it's really fucking annoying that, like, Alec Gunter, the king of trans people, our cisgender king, is coming in here to, like, literally talk over somebody else who's saying that, like, in my experience as a trans person dating, like, telling people right off the bat is the best way to do it. And to be honest with you, I completely agree, at least for me. Like, there is not a single time in my life where I've, like, tried to date somebody and then been like, oh, by the way, I'm just going to not tell you that I'm trans until later. It's like, you just start there, and then it weeds out all the people that you wouldn't be compatible with anyway, from my opinion. But it's, like, annoying that a trans person could say, hey, this is my opinion on how to, like, navigate dating as a trans person, from my experience navigating dating as a trans person, and then Alec Gunter is like, silence, T-slur. Like, oh, okay.
That's disgusting. You wouldn't hold any other person to that standard. It's because you live in a cishet society and you're a cuck to them. That's why. You're gender pilled. You are a gender slave.
A cis guy calling somebody a gender cuck because they want to tell people that they're trans before they start dating. That makes you a gender cuck. You're a cuck to the cisgenders.
Slave.
Then you'll only attract the men who are into trans women. What you need to understand, if you don't already, is...
Okay, you don't want to attract somebody who is specifically looking for a trans person to date. I promise you. Unless...
You would know all about that, Alec. You would know all about that. There are plenty of trans people that indulge chasers. Some people like that. Who cares? And why would you as a trans person, and again, I'm using my identity politics as a hammer to wield against this slackjaw bug man, okay? Like, why would you want to date somebody who doesn't like trans people as a trans person? Why would you want to do that? Wouldn't you want to look for people who either like trans people, have positive, like, empathets towards trans people? Like, isn't that where you would want to look?
C'est donated $10 through super chat. Rename your channel Gender Cuck.
I'll think about it. Maybe that'll be my DJ name, Gender Cuck. No, dude. Like, no. People just have experience, like, bad experiences with people, like, telling them they're trans later. Like, if you meet somebody on a dating app and you don't tell them on the dating app and then you meet in real life, if you tell them in person, they can like grab you and then it's over. Like, you could just send a text like, hey, just so you know, I'm trans. Like, I don't understand this.
They themselves are trans, which even then it can be a little weird, but I'm not discounting that you can have a trans chaser. But what I am saying is that if a trans person is looking specifically for another trans person to date, usually where that comes from is where that woman was. Where it's like every single time I tell a cis guy that like I'm trans, they reject me. So why not just go after trans guys instead, right? Or trans women even. Why not just do that instead and save myself the hard...
Yeah, guys. Thank you, Alec Gunter, for giving trans people permission to enter T for T relationships. Thank you so much, Alec. Profound.
...and the pain. That's understandable.
The men who are into trans women, what you need to understand if you don't...
Chasers. So like if you're being pursued by a guy who literally only wants to date trans people, you're being pursued by a chaser, my friend. Okay? Now, if you encounter somebody who has a higher, for lack of better ways to put it, body count with trans people, just by coincidence or by the fact that, it's okay to prefer trans people. I'm not saying that it's not okay to prefer trans people. Just don't be weird about it, right? Like if you like people who are women with dicks, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Just don't be a weirdo.
Already is men who don't want to sleep with you generally do not have anything against trans women. They just don't want to date them, sleep with them.
Okay, but even if that's the case, this is still a proper reaction because again, it's just rejection. Rejection sucks. People cry over rejection. People, again, cis dudes literally kill people over rejection.
I feel like Alec Gunter has that demon in him. I feel like he would do it. But I mean, Alec isn't wrong. Like, Marcus Dibbs is literally just a bully who likes to pick on people and kick them when they're down. Like, he is a bully. Like, he is a fucking asshole. But it's like, the point or the reason that Marcus is even reacting to this video is because he's talking about, like, the concern of safety and then also just, like, setting yourself up for success as a trans person when you're dating other people. Well, where you're, talking about like, hey, I'm trans, or you're meeting in a public area, or you're disclosing before you even meet up. That way, like, if this person is actually fucking crazy, they're not going to kill you in real life. Like, that's like, yes, is Marcus being an asshole intentionally? Yes, he is. That's his baseline. Okay. But nonetheless, like, why are you coming in here to shit all over Marcus, who's just giving his perspective as somebody who is trans, who deals with dating while being trans and disclosing being trans while dating? Like, I just don't understand it. I don't understand it.
Spare me the bullshit. I just don't get it.
Alec got the ultimate chaser drip, but that's for another conversation. True.
I don't get it. What do I have? Yeah.
I think that's your answer. Straight men are not into plants.
A penis? He said a penis? Well, yeah, that's genital preference. Yeah, most straight guys are not going to be into you if you have a penis. It's just a consequence of being trans. It's a very unfortunate one, and it's heavily rooted in both misogyny and trans.
It's a consequence of being trans, guys. The consequence is eggplant, prison for life.
Phobia. But it's where we're at, and I'm sorry that trans people have to go through that. It's a very, very difficult struggle, and assholes like this shouldn't be shitting on other people for struggling with it.
Oh, thank you so much. Wow. I feel so valid right now. Thank you, Alec, for giving me permission to be upset. I feel so good.
He already knew I was trans, and today we happened to be meeting at 10 o'clock. So wait, he already knew that you were trans? And he already knew that, but he kept sending me hints, and I kept telling him. But boy, I don't have the confidence with you to tell you. Why do I have to tell you? Oh, okay, so the guy guessed at it. The guy guessed that he was trans and still tried to meet up with... Well, if you're already guessing that she's trans, if you're already transvestigating her, I feel like meeting up for a date is just adding insult to injury at that point. At that point, you're just being a piece of shit. You have to meet with her to find out for sure whether or not she's trans. That's disgusting. Off. I mean, I don't have to walk down the street saying, hello, I'm Lucy and I'm trans. That's true. I'm with this woman. Why do you want...
No, but like, if you're gonna... I obviously think that, like, it's important if you're gonna be in a relationship with somebody, like, trust, transparency, openness. Like, I couldn't imagine being with somebody who hated trans people, and then you just have to keep that to yourself and not say anything. Like, take the risk out of it. Like, take that they're, like, gonna kill you or whatever. Like, take that out of it. Imagine being with somebody who hated what you are. Like, imagine, like, being Jewish, and you date somebody, and they're, like, a Nazi. Like, they love Hitler, okay? Like, they love Hitler, okay? And you have to hide that part of yourself. That's not, like, a good relationship. That's not a productive relationship. Like, the trust and transparency and openness and comfortability and accepting the parts of your partner that are different or unique or maybe even something that you don't like. That's, like, the important part of, like, a relationship. There's a difference between wearing a t-shirt that says, I'm a transgender, and then being like, hey, like, I want to pursue this relationship with you. I want to be open and honest with you, and we're going to know a lot about each other and kind of, like, share this bond or whatever. Why would you not be open and honest and transparent? I don't know why you wouldn't, personally. But, again, that's, like, a me thing, I guess. I don't know. It's just, like, why is Alec, like, saying all the shit to somebody who literally dates while trans. I don't understand it. I don't understand it.
Why do you want me to say that? No, wait. Yeah. Why do you? I'm assuming she means, why do you want me to say that? This is the first time this has happened to me.
I'm a little bit confused
I'm
about
assuming she was saying it will be the last time.
what she means. I don't know what hints she's talking about, and I don't know what she kept telling him.
Wait, I figured it out. So, well, I don't know like what she was telling him, but like he kept sending hints that he knew, and then I'm assuming that she was sending like. It just sounds like a weird exchange. I'd have to look at it.
But if she's really asking, why do I have to tell him? Girl, you gotta be kidding me. I speak from personal.
You gotta be. Don't be a cuck. Don't be a cuck. Shut up. I don't tell people my dick size when I start dating them. Hey, by the way, I have a 6-incher. Just so you know, I have the.
I could have lived my entire life without ever hearing that sentence. Please. Oh, God.
Full 6 inches, right? Do you? I mean, do you tell people, like, what, you just sat down and you're just like, hey, I'm a trans man, by the way. Like, if you're trying to lay somebody, sure. But that's not.
If you're going on a date, why would you waste your time dating somebody who doesn't like trans people? Why would you waste your time? Why would you not just come out and be like, yo, I'm trans? Like, is that an issue or what? Like, why would you waste your time? What? Do you guys know that video that I'm talking about where it's the dude on a beach and he's like picking up girls or whatever, and she's like, oh, you're just like not my type, and the guy's like, how about hardworking father? How about 8 inches and thick? How about raising my children? How about being a man of God? Like, you guys know what I'm talking about? That's what this energy is right now. Let me see if I can find this. How about... This is such a funny video. This is the vibe right here. Where is it, please? It's this guy. I don't want, like, the commentary around it. I just want the video. Fuck. Hang on, let me see.
This has got to be the weirdest pickup attempt I've ever seen.
Y'all like bodybuilders?
Bodybuilders? Yeah. I like skinny, scrawny guys.
How about multimillionaires? How about 8 inches and thick? How about talented? How about loving and respectful? 10 weeks ago, 21 years faithful. My daughter.
This is Alec Gunter. Literally a video of Alec Gunter. How about humble? How about successful? How about 6 inches? Oh God.
A necessity. Again, what if I just have a mole by my dick? Do I have to disclose that too? Like, I don't need to prove anything to you. Whatever's underneath my clothes is my fucking business until I decide otherwise.
Experience.
Yeah, guys, what if he has a mole on his dick? Like, what are we talking about right now? Please.
I always try to be as open as possible. People I talk to in real life are always too shy to ask me any questions. So when asking me just one question...
I'll ask you all the questions you want, buddy. I will ask as many questions as you can handle, and more.
I also answer questions I know they have in their heads, and they're always...
I'm gonna ask you so many questions. Marcus, I'll ask you all the questions. Okay, Alec Gunter is just a chaser, okay.
super relieved. I was
You're not gonna like
to
the
ask
questions
you,
I ask,
like,
though.
I didn't know if it was too offensive, and I'm like, you can't offend me. And I want to
I can think of a few ways to offend you. Hey, buddy, you're a f***ing grifter, and you'll be sent to the same camps as...
Obviously... You literally, you couldn't handle my insults, dude. You literally could not handle, okay? The game, the shit talking, all this fucking truth that I'm gonna be spitting. I'm gonna hit you with something you've never heard before. Are you ready? You're a grifter. You really think he's never heard that one before? That's how you're gonna hurt his feelings? Okay. Okay, that's hilarious. You're gonna go to the Tiesler death camps. Tiesler cuck. Gender cuck. Okay, Alec, you really got him. You really got him. Wow, he's shaking. He's literally shaking right now. He's got 6 inches and he called me a grifter. Okay, sure, dude.
As the rest of the trans people.
Clarify that I do have boundaries. I always say to people, you can ask me any questions except... I think I got like 2 questions that I don't want to answer, and that's it. Being honest and open as a trans person from the beginning when interacting with someone, especially a potential partner.
See, but he's insinuating that she wasn't open and honest with him. That's so gross. You don't know that. You don't know that. Keeping information from people that you just met is normal and expected. What are you talking about? You're a freak, man.
My opinion,
You're a
the best
freak.
thing that you can do.
And not for the reason.
You're a fucking freak. He wants to call him the Tiesler so bad. He wants to.
Reasons that your conservative power.
Also, I really don't like that Kirby hat. Like, I don't like it. I don't like it. Okay?
I always think you're a freak, by the way.
And will make the interaction, the relationship, the possible relationship, a whole lot better. It would be weird if he kept asking you, are you trans, are you trans, are you trans? And you kept answering, yes, yes, yes. But was that the case? Maybe he kept asking.
If he was asking, hey, are you trans? I'm blocking, by the way. Like, I'm just straight up block. Like, if I have
With allies like these, who needs enemies?
a woman saying, hey, by the way, are you a trans dude?
Good one.
I'd be like, that's Weird. Why would you ask that? Like, why does that matter? So what if I am? And then if her response is, well, I just only date dudes with dicks. Okay, you don't get to know that yet. How about we have a date before you start asking about whether my dick is there?
You don't get to ask that. You don't get to ask that. You don't get to ask that. You can't ask about my 6 inches. Yeah, his roasting is calling people gay and saying that they like to get fucked in the ass and then saying that they look like they're 14. Oh, yeah, you can really make people cry. No, I think that you just make everybody violently uncomfortable with your comments about them.
There. Gross.
Because you weren't answering him properly. And I think that's totally fair.
Ew, it's victim blaming. Well, she's not a victim, by the way, at least not that I can tell, except of just broader societal trends. But, like, it's the same mentality as victim blaming. She's clearly having an episode here, and he's making it out as though it's completely her fault. You want to say that this is the first time this has happened to me, and it will be the last. Okay? I can't. I don't know what the fuck is wrong with me. What's wrong with me? Oh, I don't want him to be like that, and I don't want to be like that. I am just another woman in the world.
Just another
girl.
woman? No.
Yes, just another woman, a trans woman.
No, you're not. Are you okay? And I'm actually.
Are you like?
Being serious. If you actually
good one.
that it's okay.
Oh, he got him so good right there. Did you guys see that roast? Are you good? Oh, got him.
Okay, not to be.
I hate everything about his demeanor, by the way. This is so condescending and concerned.
He wants to call him the F slur too. He wants to be like, you're being so gay right now. You're being the gayest gay boy gay. I bet you get fucked in the ass. I bet you get fucked in the ass by dicks that are 6 inches and may or may not have a mole on them. I bet you like dicks. 6 to 8 inch dicks. Have I mentioned my dick yet? Okay, good one.
Concern trolling is what he's doing. He's concern trolling. He's like, I'm just concerned for you and your well-being, sweaty. I just want to make sure that you're okay. But also, make sure that you tell everybody the exact dimensions of your genitalia. Pre or post-op, doesn't matter. Just make sure that you give them the ball size and how much you come and all that. You know, just write it all
Please.
down and give them the list. But also, sweetie, I'm just trying to help you. Off, gross.
Be a real woman, it's actually okay
Gross.
to be a trans woman. You most likely wouldn't cry like this. Imagine all
Wait,
the
what
pain
did
you
he just
can
say?
avoid.
What the f did you just say, man?
It's okay
Just
not
do
to be a
yourself.
real woman. It's actually okay to be a trans woman. You most likely wouldn't cry like this.
Fuck you, man. Ew, gross. Ew. Who the fuck put you on the planet, man? It wasn't God if God's all good and all loving.
Imagine all the pain you can avoid feeling if you just accepted or try to accept what you are. Listen, it's a process. It took me a while. But today I do accept myself for being a gender
good.
female, living life as a man. Because
Yeah, as a cuck. No, you're not a man. Shut the fuck up. You don't get to put yourself in the same category as me. Get the fuck.
Yeah, I truly believe that Alec Gunter is just transphobic, and he has like some trans people that he thinks are like worthy of gendering correctly and respecting their identities and valuing their opinions. Or you don't have to value anybody's opinion, but you know what I mean. Like, oh my god, like here's a trans guy that I don't like. He's not a real man. He can't be a man. He's not a man. Don't say the R word, you guys. You don't need to do that. You don't need to. There's better words.
Out of here. I know trans men who are way better men than you. Shut up. Get out.
I cannot change
I
the
cast
truth,
you out.
but I can change how I feel about the truth. And so can you.
I would say that about a cis man too, by the way, and I have. All right, I don't accept men who are cucks. If you're like a literal cuck and that's your fetish, that's fine. I'm not getting on you. You gross.
I don't accept cucks, but I won't kink shame. I won't kink shame. Like, this is literally like he's going on saying it's transphobic to say I would never want to date a trans person. Okay, now he's going off on the idea that there are certain behaviors that make somebody not a real man, and that Marcus can't be a real man in the same way that he's a real man because he's a cuck. Hello? The call is coming from inside of the house. Hello?
Disgusting cuck you. I know you like that you, okay? I know you. But if you're like a political or ideological cuck like this bastard, I refuse to accept you. I refuse. You get relegated to the same category as like men.
I love my trans allies that only respect the identities of people that they like and agree with. Yes.
Walsh, okay? No. You're a beta male, at best. I don't understand what the fuck is going on in his head. I don't want to get introduced to. Guy, excuse me, but you're looking at me to keep your dick out of it. True. No, a lot of them, it's literally just the thought of you having once been a person with a penis or a person that identified as a man is enough for them to say, nah, not for me. And then they pussy out. And it sucks. It sucks because, you know, they're a trans woman who will give you the ride of your life. And even possibly you'll fall in love with them and make a life.
There are trans women out there who will give you the ride of your life. Please.
With them. Who knows? Okay, I know Nekosaurus met somebody that he didn't know was trans at first, and then it turned out she was, and nothing changed. He married her, all right? Nekosaurus is a G for that, all right? And honestly, I say that, but that's only because the bar is so low that even just for treating trans people respectfully makes you a good person. Like, people act like I'm this based motherfucker, and all I'm doing is being normal. All I'm doing is saying that trans people deserve the same rights and respect as the rest of us. And I know you're going to say, oh, the respects are not given. No, that's bullshit. Everybody gets a base level of respect, except for trans people for some reason. They have to earn it, right? They have to.
Yeah, true. This trans guy has to earn your respect as a man, Alec, because he disagrees with you politically. Like, go fuck yourself. You're so stupid. You can't even realize that you contradict yourself in the same fucking segment.
Earn that base level of respect that all the rest of us just get by default. Why? Why? I look at that and I say, no, gross. Get that out of here. Disgusting. Dubious food.
Are you kidding me? Keep your eggplant out of this? Are you actually kidding me? Then what's the point of dating? We would all understand you if you just wanted to be his friend.
Because he doesn't want to get demonetized.
Come on, be a man. Say dick. Say dick. It's not going to hurt you.
Rejected you for being trans. That's kind of an a-hole move, but even in that situation...
By the way, even he doesn't think he's a full man, okay? So I'm not being transphobic by saying he's not a man.
Guys, it's not transphobic of me to say that this trans guy isn't a man, even though I just went on this tirade about transphobia and blah, 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 blah.
Because he says it himself. He's like, I identify as a man who was born... Shut up.
He doesn't owe you
Get out of my
anything.
face.
You know what? He's actually...
How dare you describe your gender identity in a way that I don't approve of as a cis man? Okay, good one.
keeping his eggplant out of this by rejecting you and not
How
going
dare
on a
you
date with
debase
you.
How dare you?
He is keeping his eggplant out of this in hopes that you will do the same. Why is it so hard for you to comprehend that he doesn't want to date you? I can't tell if it's due to you.
Yeah, everybody looks at him and thinks, yeah, that is a female who identifies as a man, right? Right? I'm sure that happens.
A narcissist, or if you're innocent and the trans
even was
community
that
have been
statement?
lying to... Why is it so hard for you to comprehend that he doesn't want to date you? I can't tell if it's due to you being a narcissist, or if you're innocent and the trans community have been lying to you all the time. So you believe their lies about, let's say, you being a real woman, but no matter what, filming this, posting it online will not help you.
I think the common thread for the people that I hate the most and the behavior that I hate the most is when you have bigotry cloaked as concern trolling, right? Bigotry cloaked as concern. It's like, oh, well, I'm just concerned for you and your well-being. No, you're not. Just stop being a pussy and say what you mean, okay? Just say what you mean. Just say that she does not deserve the same rights as the rest of us in the dating market, or the same respect.
If we're being totally real, I don't even think that Marcus would say that. I think that Marcus would say, like, being a trans person, there's like different like ways that you behave in dating markets than you would behave if you were cis. And that's true. That is just like a correct statement. Not saying that you're not worthy of finding a romantic partner or a sexual partner or anything like that. I'm pretty sure that Marcus is gay and is dating somebody who's gay as well right now. I'm pretty sure. But it's like acknowledging and calling attention to the way that trans people have to navigate spaces differently because they're trans. I don't think that that invokes or implies that trans people are not deserving of having like safe, stable, happy, healthy relationships. Just that the way that you navigate those spaces is going to be different, and the way that you engage with them is going to be different as well. Like, what the fuck is he talking about?
In fact, I should say the same respect as the rest of us in the dating market. Because once again, I'm not going to sit here and ask somebody about their pussy when I'm dating them, okay? I'm not going to do that. You know why?
I'm not going to ask about your pussy. Hey girl, how deep is your pussy?
Because that'd be really weird. It's not my business.
You will definitely not get any more dates.
Also,
due to
what's this drip?
video. You cannot expect that the men you want to date
We're gonna grub
shouldn't
thing.
care about you being trans. I mean, just because you deal with internalized transphobia, you ignore the fact that you're trans and you claim to be a real woman, doesn't mean that everyone else agree with you. Try to work on self-acceptance, and I wish you all the
I don't care if everybody else agrees with me or not. I'm correct. Doesn't matter if they agree with me.
best.
Let's say that there's a straight
Okay,
man
nice.
who likes a trans woman,
I'm glad
but
we're
doesn't think she's
English now.
trans. He finds out later, and maybe she's pre-op, and he's uncomfortable with the idea of being intimate with someone.
There's this genuine question. How would you delineate what Alec is doing here as a cis person from like Brianna was saying that she will never be a real woman? Because I think that like the way that you relate to your identity is pretty personal. So the way that people describe themselves and understand themselves as trans people is really individualized, and it's really unique in the way that people have like processed transitioning. It's a big change in your life. It's a big change in how you present, how other people interact with you. Like there's a lot of moving parts. And so everybody is going to have a different way of describing that experience. And so for me, from my perspective, like I think like I quote unquote used to be a woman. That's the way that I described it. I lived as a woman. I was perceived as a woman. I moved through the world as a woman, you know, like people interacted with me as a woman, things like that. And I don't think that there's anything wrong with using a different way to describe my experience than somebody else who might say, no, I was never a woman. I was always a man. I think that the way that people describe and experience their gender definitionally is a subjective experience, which gives it that certain aspect, which makes it like quite unique in the sense where it's going to be really personal, the way the individual connects with their gender. So like I would say that regardless of how like a cis person on the outside sitting in perceives how people like describe themselves as good, bad, sad, depressing, whatever the fuck, I don't think that's appropriate. Because even in the context of Brianna Wu, or even in the context of Marcus, the way that they interact and engage with their gender is their own fucking thing. And if they're happy with the idea that they are never going to be a real man, or that they're not, you know, authentically a man, or that they're like a fake man or whatever the fuck. If that is how they understand their gender and they're fine with it, whatever. I don't care. I don't lose sleep over how other people like describe and experience their own subjective experience with gender. And when cis people come in and say, oh, this is the wrong way to do it, or this way is a depressing way to engage with this, it's like, you don't know anything about this person's relationship with their gender, and it's vastly inappropriate, I think, for other people to control the language of individuals who are expressing themselves, how it relates to their gender. I remember when I talked to poly people, I asked the question very specifically: if you have someone who is describing their identity about themselves, there's like no wrong way to do that. If you have someone who's a trans woman, you say, yeah, I'm actually a man, but I like being perceived as a woman or whatever. That person isn't wrong about how they describe their identity. That's their relationship with their identity. You can't really be wrong about that. Now, if you start prescribing that to other people, because I experience gender this way, therefore this is what gender is, and this is how everyone interacts with gender, that would be like a problem. But people just describing their own subjective experiences in a way that like maybe is different than how I would describe it or somebody else would describe it, I don't lose any fucking sleep over that. And I think it's disgusting when cis people and people on the outside like come in and they're like, no, you're identifying yourself wrong. That's not appropriate. Like, everybody engages with it differently. So it's going to be a culmination of your experiences, processing your gender dysphoria, essentially changing the way that you're perceived externally by the world, and then coming to terms with who you are as a person. The way that you see yourself before, after, and during, like all these things give you a unique way that you experience this, and in turn, a way that you describe it. So I just don't care. I just do not care.
Someone that
Yeah, and at that point you can say, listen, I'm not in the dicks, bye. Like, that's it. That's it. Will you hurt her feelings? Probably. But what rejection doesn't hurt? And what reason could you possibly give that will make it not hurt? There's none. Zero. So if you're not comfortable getting into bed with somebody who's got a dick, that's not a big deal. Just tell them no and go on about your merry life.
has that
You're gonna hurt people's
in this
feelings
situation, there's a
sometimes.
right way to go about that and a wrong way to go about that. If the guy was like, hey, sorry, I'm straight, I'm not going to date you. No, that's transphobic.
That's
having
true.
or not having a specific body part does not define someone's gender.
Then why does removing them affirm their gender?
This is a fascist question. Removing them affirms their gender. I have a very good
This is a fascist question. This is a fascist question. Alec Gunter, please define for the class fascism. Please define for us all fascism. The answer is actually, again, it's like pretty simple here. So like body parts don't necessarily determine like gender, right? But body parts are like associated with gender, and if you want to be perceived a certain way by society, there are parts of your expression that you will augment or change in order to be perceived the way that you want to be perceived, because these characteristics are associated with gender. Very simple, but yes. Okay, so you say it's appropriate for others and even cis people to take issue with trying to get other trans women to admit they will never be. Yeah, so that would be the issue, is like if you're going in at other people trying to dictate their identity, I think that that's a problem. So like in the case of Brianna Wu, if Brianna Wu feels this way about herself, cool, fantastic. Feel however you want about your own body, your journey, your experience, your identity, whatever the fuck. But when you start going to other people and you say, because I experience things this way, therefore you must experience things in the same way as me, that's wrong. That's not appropriate. I hope that answers your question.
good answer for you. You ready for this? It's because, as it turns out, as a society, we have strongly associated having a penis with being a man and having a vagina with being a woman. So if you're a trans woman and you still have a penis and you see that in the mirror every single day and you're told by media constantly everywhere that you get blasted by women are the ones who have vaginas, women have vaginas, women have vaginas, women have vaginas, women have vaginas, and then you go in the mirror and you look and you see a big swinging dick, what do you think that's going to do to your mentality? What do you think that's going to do to your psyche? Of course you're going to want to remove a dick to me, okay? Of course.
If body parts don't define gender, how is it even possible for trans
the association.
to exist? The mechanism that makes transsexuals, the real
A fascist question is like... A fascist question is... No, I'm not even going to say it.
ones, not the fake TikTok ones, transition.
The original joke was add a deck to me. It doesn't work as well when you say remove a deck to me. You're supposed to say remove a dick from me, I guess.
Is the mental disorder gender dysphoria. Gender dysphoria describes the extreme discomfort somebody has regarding their biological
Why did it have to be big and swinging? He's really obsessed with dick sizes. He's very obsessed with dick sizes.
sex. Their body parts, in other words.
Wait. Gender dysphoria, no.
Somebody has regarding their biological sex.
No, gender dysphoria describes the mismatch between the gender that you were assigned at birth, being boy or girl.
That's Alec Gunter is just so fucking dumb. Okay, that is gender incongruence. Gender incongruence and gender dysphoria are different. Both are differentiated in not only the ICD but also in the DSM. Okay, Gender incongruence is like the state of being that you have an identity that does not match with like your physical reality. That is the incongruence. There is a mismatch between how you identify and then how you were born. Gender dysphoria is the discomfort, unease, dissatisfaction, whatever adjective you want to use that is not cash money, okay, is that feeling that is provoked by incongruence. Dysphoria is the feeling. The incongruence is the state of being, okay? Alec, please, if you want to try and be the king of gender, you have to read the diagnostic criteria. You have to at least do that, okay? I'm sorry if that's fascist of me to say that you have to read a book. I'm sorry, but fuck.
And the sex organs that you have, because there's, again, a strong association between men having penises and women having vaginas. So gender dysphoria is the opposite. It's the inverse of that. It's where you are a man who has a vagina or a woman who has a penis, and the dysphoric element of that is basically all socially driven, where it's like, of that.
No, I hate when people do this shit, dude. It makes me so mad. It is not entirely socially driven. There's like different kinds of dysphoria. Like you could say that there is social dysphoria, where you are not gendered correctly, where you aren't perceived as the gender that you identify as, that maybe people on the phone misgender you or whatever the fuck. That's like social dysphoria. It's about like your perception and your place in society. Sex-based dysphoria is around like the sex characteristics that you want to have, okay? So it's not just like, because think about this realistically, you guys. If this was true, why would anybody ever get bottom surgery? Unless you lived in like a nudist colony. No one's gonna know except for you. And maybe your partner, right? No one is going to know that if you have a dick or a pussy or pick a random genital out of the hat, whatever. Nobody's going to know because you're not walking around with your cock out. You're not doing that. That is something that is internally driven almost always. The social pressure to have a dick. Who's walking around with their dicks out in Walmart? No one. Like, what do you... Please, I don't know if I can finish this video because shit like this actually genuinely like pisses me off because it's so annoying that people like Alec Gunter want to white knight for trans people while one, being transphobic, and two, the most offensive part of all of it is being misinformed.
Specific part, I should say, where it's like, again,
I'm also not white. Thank you, vampire.
If you're a man with a vagina or a woman with a dick and you're constantly being bombarded with messaging that that's not the way it's supposed to be, that's going to f with you mentally. Okay? It just makes sense to me.
Their body parts, in other words. So if your body has nothing to do...
How are women and vaginas considered inextricably linked when conservative cis men are some of the biggest pussies on the planet?
That's a great point. Thank you so much for the gifted 5 gifted tier 1 subs. Once again, Sakatinuki, thank you very much. Always appreciate you, buddy.
With your gender, how
Very
can trans
true.
people feel dysphoric and actually go out and get a bunch of surgeries?
I just answered this.
So according to you, disclosing your sexuality is transphobic?
I don't know if you realize, but not everyone walks
Being
around
forced
naked.
to. Being forced to No. Sorry. I was thinking about disclosing your genitalia. No, if you are disclosing the fact... Okay, so if you're dating a trans woman, and then you find out she's trans, and you say, sorry, I'm... As a guy, you say, sorry, like a cis guy, and you say, sorry, I'm straight. Yeah, that's transphobia, because what you're saying is that that's not actually... Like, let's look at the implication there. The implication is that that's not actually a woman you're dating. It's a man who's playing dress up. Okay, that's why I say you're not a real man, because you don't act like one. You act like you're still a woman playing...
Dude, transphobia is so bad. Like, you're being transphobic. Like, please stop being transphobic, you guys. Like, this is an example of transphobia. Anyway, this guy is not a real man because fuck him. You're literally doing the thing, Alec. You're literally doing the thing. You're swinging your dick too hard. Stop.
Playing dress up. It's disgusting. Why are you debasing yourself like that? You are a man. Act like it.
Sexuality is transphobic?
I don't think I would ever look to Alec Gunter for how to act like a man. I'm sorry. I don't think a man engages in violent transphobic rhetoric towards people that he doesn't personally agree with. Sorry.
I don't know if you realize, but not everyone walks around naked. When you first see someone and you're attracted to them, you have no idea what they have going on down there. You can only assume.
Yes, you're right.
Yeah.
Of course you're right. It was impossible for me to know, without looking at your profile, that you are a woman on testosterone. That was too hard to guess. Without cheating. Right. Being serious, it is...
Oh, is he just calling him, like, ugly? Is that what's going on? Or like he's saying that he...
No, he's saying that he has the T-slur voice, Alec. Come on, keep up.
Clocked him? Is this a trans man that he is basically saying that he's clocking? Rain Green? Let's look it up. That's what he's saying. He, him. Yeah, it's a trans man. Okay, so yeah, no, he's saying that, like, he's saying that he clocked him. That's so gross, man. What are you doing?
No idea what they have
There's
going
so
on.
many better things that you can do with your life than harass people who are probably, like, sympathetic to your struggle as a trans person, if you've had one. Sounds like you haven't, really. Sounds like you were handed everything as far
I want to die, guys.
as transitioning goes. And then you decided, well, you know, I haven't really had it that bad. Maybe I'll just get into the trans grift and make a bunch of money. That's what it seems like to me.
Down there. You can only assume.
Yes, you're right. Of course you're right. It was
gross,
impossible for
man.
me to know
Disgusting.
without looking
How
at
dare you try to act like you have any consideration for these people that you're just tearing into? Disgusting. F off.
your profile.
Be
that
gone
you
from
are a
my
woman on
gender.
testosterone.
You don't deserve it.
That was too hard to guess.
Guys, I have a really good idea. I'm gonna detransition because I don't want to be in the same category as Alec Gunter. Let's go. Mass You know how we had like how they did like chickenpox parties, you know, and for like kids when everybody was like worried about the chickenpox vaccine, so you just get it and be done with it or whatever. Let's do a detrans party. Let's do like one of those where we all collectively like reverse all of our surgeries and shit. Let's do that. Let's do that. Let's schedule it. I'm putting it on my calendar.
Without cheating. Right. Being serious, it is true that you can be immediately attracted to someone when they have clothes on, but guess what? It's completely fair to lose that attraction once you figure out that they're trans. Because
yeah, once you figure it out, which they don't have any obligation to tell you until they feel like it.
What you have in between your—
It's not really I don't like this framing that it's an obligation. I would say like it's more of like a courtesy, one, and then two, like a safety concern. Like, and the other thing too that is like really irritating to me, especially with like cis allies, and Cornbread says it best, the Dunning-Kruger effect on trans allyship is so huge. So true. Is like, this is the kind of advice that like you don't ever want to be getting from a cis person because they don't understand like the reality that somebody could just like fucking kill you. Like actually fucking kill you. Like actually murder you if you are not tactful in the way that you approach being trans and dating. Like there are really hard conversations to have about dating as a trans person because people are fucking crazy. There are crazy people out there. And so when your advice is literally like, who cares? Do whatever you want. It's a free country. That's how you get people walking into situations that they're not equipped to handle that might be dangerous because it's not something you've ever had to deal with and you don't care. Fuck this guy. Fuck this guy.
your legs, quite important to the majority of all people.
Still important.
No, actually. No. Like when you're dating, sure. But again, I don't know what a girl's vagina is going to look like, or her genitalia, I should say. I don't know what it's going to look like. If it's a vagina, a dick, how big it is, how small it is, you know, where the clit's at. Like, I just don't.
Yeah, he certainly does not know where the clit's at. That's true. It's not. Fun fact for you guys who have never seen a vagina in real life, just in case you're wondering. The clit is always in a different spot. It moves. It actually moves every time. It like migrates. You know, like those spiders that will eat their web every day and then they move somewhere else and build a new web. That's what a clitoris does. It's never in the same spot, so you always have to look for it. Just in case you guys didn't know, I just wanted to let you know. Okay.
Don't know. Like, okay, I have a general idea where the clit's at, but you know, it varies where
Schrodinger's clit.
the G spot's at is what I meant. So you know, there's a lot of things that you don't know.
The G spot. Freudian slip. Okay.
About somebody's genitalia, and you shouldn't know it. Once again, the first thing you do at a date is not ask for the specs on somebody's genitalia.
Important to respect.
I mean, maybe you don't. No, I'm just kidding. But like, the thing is like, your attraction to somebody else, like when they're naked, may be completely different than when they're clothed. That's 100% true. Like, and there's nothing wrong with just not physically being attracted to somebody because they have a body type that you like don't like or whatever. Like, that's fine.
Your own boundaries while still respecting other people. The right thing to say is something along the lines of, hey, sorry, I'm not comfortable being intimate with someone with that body part. It's easy not to be transphobic.
Oh my god.
It's true. No, that's real. That's fine.
Cool. The biggest joke of the year. To sum it up, saying, I'm a straight man, so I'm not attracted to a
You have no argument against it, man. What are you talking about? You like throw your hands up and act like it's so obvious. You have no argument. You're just like, oh my god, look at this cringe. Oh. And then like, that's it.
Biological male is wrong, but to say—
Wait, what did he say?
I'm a straight man, so I'm not attracted to a biological male is wrong, but to say, hey, I'm not attracted to your specific body part is right. To me, it's the same thing.
No, it's not the same thing. The implication is different, which you know, by the way. You know this. Okay.
It's literally not, though. If he says, I am attracted to, quote unquote, a biological male, you might not like that language. Attack that then. Because if he's saying I'm attracted to biological males, he's directly implying that it's like male, like a man with a penis. Like that is exactly what he's fucking saying. Like just because you don't have a better attack than, what a dumb thing to say, doesn't mean that what he's saying is like not congruent. Because it is. It is. If you say biological male, there's an implication right there that we are all, except for Alec Gunter, smart enough to understand what he's saying. Like, if somebody says, I'm super straight, I only date females, I know exactly what they mean. I might disagree with the wording. I might say, oh, well, that's kind of tasteless. Let's check our transphobia, you guys. But I know exactly what they're fucking saying.
I know exactly why that's not the same thing. You're just lying.
A question for you, Miss Girl. Why can't you just mind your own business? You can be honest with me. Is your dating life so boring that you feel the need to get involved in other people's dating lives?
I feel like I gotta wipe you off of my boot, dude. Like, this is disgusting. I hate this smarmy behavior. This is so gross and grating. What is wrong with you? Stop.
That was a lot. Let me know in the comments down below if you would date a trans person, man or woman. Thank you all for watching this video.
Maybe I should leave a comment. Yeah, that was disgusting, man.
Alec. Yes, Alec, leave a comment.
You're rejected for being a fat chick all the time. Well, you don't exactly have to disclose if you're fat. I feel like that's pretty self-evident, right? Like, it's very silly. Anyway, I can't stand that guy if you couldn't tell. But it was fun going over that video. I always have a good time ripping into somebody who doesn't know what the fuck they're talking about.
That's hilarious, dude, because that's literally you. You don't even know the difference between gender dysphoria and gender incongruence, and a difference between, like, sex-based dysphoria and social dysphoria. Are you fucking kidding me? That's you, bro. That's you, bro. Oh my god. Cis people that inject themselves into esoteric trans discourse are my favorite because they're so fucking dumb. So fucking dumb.
I take it back. That's giving him too much credit. He knows exactly what he's saying. He's just a piece of shit. He's a victim blamer. And again, he's going to be sent to the same gulags as all the other trans people if the conservatives get their way, no matter how much he licks their assholes. So keep licking, buddy. Keep on licking. See what happens.
He literally lives in Denmark. He's not going to any fucking camp. He's fine. He's in Denmark. Like, what are you talking about, Alec? Alec!
And you. Hey, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please be sure to hit the like button, subscribe if you want to see more, hit the notification bell to be notified when I upload. If you enjoy my content, you enjoy what I do, I really appreciate any financial help that I can get. Go to youtube.com/.
Yeah, send me money so I can bully trans people on there. Thank you, Sis King. What a ride. What a ride. What a ride. Yeah, I should do that. Cis ally doesn't know where the clit is. Good one. Good one. Good one. I like that.